15 black actors who slept their way to the top. In Hollywood, legends aren't just born. Sometimes they're made behind closed doors. Tonight, we're pulling back the velvet curtain on the whispers, the midnight deals, and the secret affairs that shaped entire careers. These are the stories insiders never wanted you to hear. The names everyone talked about, but no one dared expose. Brace yourself. Here are 15 black actors who allegedly slept their way to the top, and the shocking truth behind the rise of their fame. Halle Berry. Let's open with true Hollywood royalty. Back in 1991, Halle was still fighting for her place in an industry that rarely opened its doors to black actresses. Then came Jungle Fever, Spike Lee's bold, controversial dive into interracial relationships. Halle landed the role of Vivian, a crack-addicted woman whose haunting realism shocked critics. It wasn't just good, it was unforgettable. And overnight, Halle Berry wasn't just another actress. She was a name Hollywood could no longer ignore. But this is Hollywood, a place where success never comes without shadows. And the whispers came fast. People started murmuring that Halle's sudden rise wasn't just about talent, that her close connection with Spike Lee had given her an advantage no one else had. Some even hinted that their relationship went beyond a typical director-actor bond, claiming Spike championed her because of a private, unspoken connection. But let's slow this down. Spike Lee has always been the filmmaker who lifts black actors when mainstream Hollywood slams the door. He's launched careers. He's created lanes. He's opened spaces that didn't exist before. Did Halle walk through one of those doors? Absolutely. But did it happen the way the rumors suggest? There's not a shred of evidence. Here's what is true. Halle Berry is outrageously talented. After Jungle Fever, she didn't just rise, she soared. In 2002, she made history as the first black woman to win the Academy Award for Best Actress. From X-Men to John Wick, she built a decades-long legacy filled with iconic, culture-shifting performances. The real story isn't who may have opened the door. It's what she did after she walked through it. Halle proved, through sheer talent, grit, and unbreakable determination, that she belonged at the top. Yet, the whispers never fully died. That's the cruel tax of success in an industry that feeds on gossip faster than it celebrates black excellence. Neither Halle nor Spike has ever dignified those rumors with a response. And honestly, they don't need to. Their work says everything. Angela Bassett. Before Hollywood crowned her a queen, before the awards, the iconic roles, and the legendary presence, there was a moment in 1991 when everything shifted. And at the center of that shift stood a young visionary, John Singleton. In 1991, Singleton shattered history, becoming the youngest and the first black filmmaker ever nominated for an Oscar for Best Director with Boys in the Hood. His film didn't just hit theaters, it exploded, exposing the raw truth of black life in South Central Los Angeles with a level of honesty Hollywood had never dared to show. And in the middle of that cultural earthquake was a rising actress named Angela Bassett. The role was small, but unforgettable, one of the earliest sparks in what would become a blazing career. But behind the scenes, Hollywood insiders began whispering. And the whispers weren't about the film, they were about Angela and John. Rumors swirled that their connection ran deeper than the script, that there was something personal, something intimate, and that this invisible bond had helped shape her rise. People claimed the relationship opened doors for Angela, nudged her into the spotlight, and shaped the career she would soon dominate. But let's rewind to early 90s Hollywood to understand why those whispers started. John Singleton was a young black director breaking barriers at full speed. Powerful, magnetic, unstoppable. Angela Bassett was a Yale-trained actress with fire in her bones, fighting for real roles in an industry that barely acknowledged black women existed. Their paths crossing was inevitable, their talent undeniable. Yet the gossip machine chose the easiest story. She succeeded because of him. What those rumors always ignore is the truth. Angela Bassett never needed a shortcut. She needed a chance. And once she got one, she soared. After Boys in the Hood, Angela delivered one of the most electrifying performances in film history as Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It? earning an Oscar nomination. She lit up the screen in Waiting to Exhale, how Stella got her groove back, and decades later, became an icon once again in Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. Neither Angela nor John ever confirmed anything beyond mutual respect and professional admiration. And maybe that silence says everything. In Hollywood, when Black excellence rises too high, too fast, the industry often responds the same way. It invents a rumor because it cannot fathom the truth. Some legends rise not through scandal, but through undeniable brilliance. Tyrese Gibson wasn't supposed to become a Hollywood force, not on paper. He was the smooth-voiced R&B crooner, the Coca-Cola kid with a model-perfect smile. Acting wasn't his path, not yet. But everything changed the moment legendary director John Singleton pointed at him and said, "That's my lead." In 2001, Singleton took a gamble that shocked the industry. He could have chosen any seasoned actor for Baby Boy, yet he handpicked Tyrese, someone with zero acting experience, to carry an entire film on his shoulders. And Tyrese delivered. The movie hit hard, and suddenly the singer-turned-actor proved he had something raw, magnetic, and undeniable. Then came the second lightning strike. Singleton cast him again in Too Fast, Too Furious, sealing Tyrese's place in one of the biggest film franchises ever created. Two massive roles. One young, untested star. Same director. It didn't take long before Hollywood started whispering. Tabloids hinted at favoritism, then pushed the rumors darker. They claimed Singleton's bond with Tyrese was too close, suggesting the opportunities weren't earned, but granted through some secret, intimate connection. That tired Hollywood trope, the idea that a young Black man couldn't possibly rise on talent alone, spread like wildfire. But here's the truth that gossip never captures. Tyrese and Singleton had a real bond, forged in belief, mentorship, and trust. After Singleton's heartbreaking death in 2019, Tyrese wept publicly, calling him a father figure, the one man who saw greatness in him when the world only saw a singer with a pretty face. Did Singleton recognize something rare in Tyrese? Absolutely. Did he take a risk on a newcomer? Yes, and that's exactly what visionary directors do. They see before the rest of the world catches up. The rumors? Never proven, never backed by anything real. And Tyrese's career tells the real story, Fast and Furious. Transformers, a decade-spanning resume built on hard work, charisma, and box office power. John Singleton didn't give Tyrese a career. He started a fire, and Tyrese kept it burning. Naomi Campbell, a supermodel carved into the very fabric of fashion history. One of the most recognizable faces on the planet. But acting? That was never supposed to be her battlefield. Until 2015, when director Lee Daniels dropped a bombshell and cast her in the cultural earthquake known as Empire. Empire wasn't just a show. It was a movement, an explosive blend of hip-hop royalty, family warfare, and jaw-dropping scandal. And into that firestorm stepped Naomi, playing the dangerously seductive Camila Marks. The moment she appeared on screen, Hollywood gossip columns detonated. Questions flew like shrapnel. Why Naomi? Why her in a role seasoned actresses were begging for? What did Lee Daniels see in a supermodel walking into an acting arena with nearly no experience? Rumors multiplied overnight. Whispers suggested Lee Daniels had a soft spot for Naomi, maybe even something deeper. Tabloids insisted she got roles others fought for, not because of talent, but because of access. Some even swore their relationship had a romantic glow behind the scenes, influencing every casting decision he made. But here's what the whispers ignore. Naomi Campbell is not just a model. She's a global icon. A Black woman whose name alone can stop traffic and shift culture. Bringing her on to Empire was a power move, a business move, a ratings move, and it worked. She brought eyes, excitement, glamour, and millions of curious viewers. And then, she delivered. Naomi held her ground beside trained, seasoned actors. She brought the fire, the elegance, and the sharp-edged drama Camila Marks demanded. Nobody needed her to be Meryl Streep. She only had to be Camila, and she owned it. Lee Daniels has never confirmed anything beyond friendship and professional admiration. Naomi speaks of him with respect, gratitude, and zero scandal. But the rumors? They hang on because Hollywood loves one tired narrative. If a beautiful woman wins, she must have slept her way there. It's sexist, it's lazy, and it erases the truth. Naomi Campbell earned her moment, and when the cameras rolled, she proved exactly why she belonged there. Terrence Howard was once Hollywood's golden promise, a respected actor with an Oscar nomination for Hustle and Flow, and a face everyone expected to see on red carpets for decades. But by the time Empire premiered in 2015, Terrence's career wasn't just wobbling, it was collapsing. Fired from Iron Man 2 after a brutal salary dispute, surrounded by multiple allegations of domestic violence, and labeled a Hollywood risk, Terrence seemed destined for a quiet fade-out. Then came Lee Daniels, and everything changed. Lee didn't just cast Terrence Howard as Lucius Lyon, he resurrected him. Empire exploded into a cultural phenomenon, and overnight, Terrence went from afterthought to king again. But with his comeback came whispers that never stopped. Hollywood insiders claimed Lee Daniels' affection for Terrence ran far deeper than professional respect. Rumors swirled that their connection was personal, possibly romantic, and that this bond kept Terrence untouchable at the center of the show. Even as scandals piled up, bizarre interviews, strange scientific theories, new accusations, Terrence remained the face of Empire, untouched by consequences that would have destroyed any other actor. People kept asking the same question. Why him? Why was Terrence protected? And the rumor mill always had the same answer. Lee Daniels was shielding him because of love. Now, here's what we do know. Lee Daniels and Terrence Howard shared a long, complicated professional history. Before Empire, Lee directed Terrence in The Butler. Lee defended him publicly, sometimes when it seemed impossible to do so. Their bond was real, undeniable. But was it romantic? Was it the kind of private loyalty that bends Hollywood rules? Neither man has ever said yes. Lee insists on only one thing. Terrence Howard is brilliant, perfect for Lucius Lyon, worthy of second chance. Still, the rumors never slowed down, because Hollywood loyalty rarely comes without a price or a secret. Maybe Lee was simply standing by an actor he believed in. Or maybe there's a chapter of this story the world will never hear. And perhaps that silence tells its own truth. Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s rise didn't just start with Boys in the Hood. It detonated. As Trey Styles, he wasn't just acting. He was commanding every frame with a raw magnetism Hollywood couldn't ignore. That breakout role launched him from local talent to national phenomenon, setting the stage for his Oscar-winning turn in Jerry Maguire just 5 years later. Sealed forever by the legendary Show Me the Money. But behind the applause, a darker whisper spread through Hollywood's back rooms. Insiders claimed Cuba's rocket fuel ascent wasn't powered by talent alone. They pointed fingers at his close bond with the film's young visionary director, John Singleton. The rumors said their connection was part mentorship, part something else. Suddenly, the word favoritism was floating around like smoke. People suggested John saw more in Cuba than just potential, that this mysterious, private bond opened doors other actors could only dream of. They whispered that Cuba didn't just star in Singleton's breakout masterpiece. He became the centerpiece for reasons that had nothing to do with the script. But here's what those whispers conveniently ignore. Cuba Gooding Jr. wasn't some random kid plucked off the street. He grew up in an entertainment household. His father led the soul group, The Main Ingredient. Cuba had been grinding for years, dancing, acting in bit parts, learning the industry from the inside. He was hungry, prepared, and ready. And John Singleton? He was rewriting the rules of black storytelling. He needed actors who truly understood the world he was capturing. Its pain, its pride, its heartbeat. Cuba brought all of that to Trey. Authenticity, emotional depth, and a fire that Singleton knew audiences would feel instantly. So why did the rumors start? Because Cuba's rise was fast. Too fast for some people's comfort. In an industry where black actors often climb uphill on broken glass, Cuba soared. Within a decade of Boys in the Hood, he had an Academy Award. And when success comes quick and comes black, Hollywood always looks for a reason. Through it all, Cuba and John stayed close, brothers in art, not scandal. They openly praised each other's work, and Singleton even spoke at Cuba's Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. Their bond was real, but rooted in respect, not romance. Was their relationship inappropriate or secretive? No facts, no proof. Just speculation from people who couldn't believe a black director and a black actor could uplift each other without an ulterior motive. Sometimes greatness is just greatness, and that's the part Hollywood hates the most. Taraji P. Henson. Taraji P. Henson. Before she became a global phenomenon as Cookie Lyon, Taraji was already lighting up Tyler Perry's films. I Could Do Bad All by Myself, The Family That Prays, and more. Tyler Perry had built a reputation as the rare Hollywood powerhouse who actually uplifted black actresses, giving them real roles, real checks, and real respect. But behind the applause, the rumor machine was grinding out a darker, juicier story. Whispers began to spread. Whispers that Tyler's admiration for Taraji wasn't just professional. That maybe, just maybe, something more personal, something more intimate, explained why he kept casting her, backing her, and pushing her career forward with such force. Some even claimed he used his influence to help her secure the legendary role of Cookie Lyon. The streets talked, and the whispers only grew louder. But here's where things get complicated. Tyler Perry isn't just a filmmaker. He's one of the most powerful black men in the entertainment industry. He owns a studio the size of a small city. He creates, funds, writes, produces, and greenlights entire careers. When he decides to champion someone, Hollywood pays attention. So when he openly supported Taraji, people couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. But what has Tyler himself said? He's made it clear, painfully clear, that he believes black actresses deserve better. Better roles, better pay, better treatment. And he's proven it, not just with Taraji, but with titans like Angela Bassett, Viola Davis, and a long list of women Hollywood tried to overlook. Taraji, for her part, has spoken about Tyler with pure gratitude. She said his fairness changed her life, that he paid her what she was worth when others wouldn't, that he gave her the kind of roles she'd been begging Hollywood to let her prove she could handle. She's always described their bond as professional, rooted in mutual respect, not romance. So why do the rumors still survive? Because Tyler and Taraji share something rare in Hollywood: genuine affection, authentic friendship, real support. And in a town where love, loyalty, and power often blur together, people see two black superstars standing side by side and start writing their own story. But friendship isn't scandal. Respect isn't romance. And sometimes the truth is far less explosive, even when the whispers refuse to die. Meagan Good. Meagan Good has been in front of the camera since she was a little girl. Steady, determined, climbing her way through Hollywood with memorable roles in Eve's Bayou, You Got Served, Stomp the Yard, and dozens more. Devin Franklin, on the other hand, was Hollywood's polished double threat. A respected studio producer and a Seventh-day Adventist preacher who balanced faith and filmmaking with impossible ease. When their paths crossed in 2011 on the set of Jumping the Broom, it felt like fate had chosen its moment. By 2012, they were married, instantly becoming Hollywood's faith-powered power couple. They wrote books, gave interviews, and presented themselves as proof that love, faith, and ambition could thrive in an industry built on illusion. But Hollywood never lets a fairy tale stay clean for long. Quiet whispers turned into loud speculation. Was their love story pure devotion, or was there a darker subplot? Critics started asking whether Megan's rising career trajectory was helped along by Devin's connections, whether she married not just the man, but the influence, the access, the doors he could quietly open as a producer. Rumors painted Megan as a strategist, someone who used her husband's industry power to secure better roles. Some even went as far as to claim the entire marriage was part love story, part Hollywood chess move. But here's where those rumors crumble. They erase Megan's entire legacy. She had been grinding in Hollywood for over 20 years before she ever met Devin. She built her own name, her own network, her own credibility long before the wedding ring. And Devin, though accomplished, wasn't some all-powerful gatekeeper who could rewrite careers with a single phone call. His influence was real, but limited, mostly within faith-based films. Then came the plot twist no one expected. In 2021, after 9 years of marriage, Megan and Devin announced their divorce. Their statements were calm, respectful, and filled with love. Two people admitting they had grown in different directions. But it left one burning question hanging in the air. If this marriage had truly been a career strategy, why walk away when his influence could still benefit her? Sometimes, the whispers reveal nothing about the truth, and everything about the people spreading them. Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union didn't just enter Hollywood in the 90s. She fought her way in. From early roles on Saved by the Bell, The New Class, and Sister, to scene-stealing moments in 10 Things I Hate About You. And she's all that. She was rising fast. But everything changed in 2000 with Bring It On, the film that turned her into a household name. And that's when the whispers began. Rumors crept through Hollywood's back corridors. Claims that Gabrielle's rise was supported by powerful men behind the scenes. One of the names tabloids threw around was Bryan Singer, the embattled director of X-Men and The Usual Suspects. But here's the truth. Gabrielle has never worked with Singer, never appeared in any project of his, and has never confirmed any connection to him. Yet her name was dragged into the gossip anyway, as if success itself required a scandal. And Singer is not a name you casually throw around. For years, he's faced a storm of allegations involving young men. Accusers stepping forward, lawsuits piling up, his Hollywood reputation collapsing under its own weight. Linking Gabrielle to him without evidence wasn't just sloppy gossip. It was a loaded attempt to stain her character. Because if anyone has spoken loudly, fearlessly, and relentlessly about abuse of power in Hollywood, it's Gabrielle Union. She has shared her own experiences with assault, harassment, and discrimination. She's talked about being held at gunpoint as a young woman. She has fought publicly for equal pay, for fair treatment, for the rights of women, especially black women, in an industry that still resists accountability. She's been a voice in Me Too and Time's Up, pushing back against the very system people claim she used. So the idea that she slept her way to the top, it doesn't just clash with her values, it insults them. But Hollywood has a pattern. When a black woman becomes too successful, too outspoken, too undeniable, the machine finds ways to undermine her. Whispers, stories, shadowy accusations with no evidence. Yet Gabrielle kept climbing anyway. From rom-com favorite to dramatic powerhouse, from being Mary Jane to her fearless run on America's Got Talent, she has built a decades-long career by doing the one thing Hollywood hates most. Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash exploded into the spotlight in the 1990s, immortalized as the glamorous, razor-sharp Dionne and clueless beside Alicia Silverstone. Overnight, she became the kind of superstar whose name lived on lunchboxes, magazine covers, and teenage bedroom walls. Damon Dash, on the other hand, was building an empire, co-founding Rockefeller Records with Jay-Z and rising into one of the most feared and influential producers in music and film. They shared a last name, and that tiny coincidence ignited a wildfire of speculation. People whispered, are they siblings? Lovers? Allies? Enemies? The truth was simpler. They were cousins. But Hollywood never cared about the truth. It cared about a good story. And the rumors? They got dark fast. Insiders claimed their bond was too close, unusually private, and that Damon used his industry power to keep Stacey's star glowing long after it should have faded. Because after Clueless, Stacey's trajectory dipped. She kept working, TV roles, guest appearances, supporting characters, but she never touched that 1995 peak again. Yet somehow, she stayed visible. And Hollywood gossip pointed to Damon. Whispers in studio hallways said Damon Dash's influence kept her relevant during dry spells, that his loyalty, or something more, was the reason the phone never stopped ringing. That nepotism alone couldn't explain it. That something else was happening. But here's the truth behind the curtain. Hollywood is built on connections. Family hires family. Friends lift friends. Powerful producers open doors for people they care about. It's not scandal, it's the system. The rumors only turned toxic when people tried to twist a family bond into something forbidden, transactional, or salacious. Yet none of those accusations ever came with evidence. Not one. And while the industry eventually shifted its focus, Stacey Dash reinvented herself. This time as a conservative political firebrand. Her hot-button statements polarized audiences, sparked outrage, and alienated the very fans who once worshipped her. In the end, it wasn't Damon Dash, nepotism, or rumors that defined her legacy, but the battles she chose to fight on her own. Paula Patton. Paula Patton didn't just appear in Hollywood. She erupted onto the screen. First in Hitch beside Will Smith, then stealing scenes in Deja Vu opposite Denzel Washington, and later delivering raw emotion in Precious under the direction of Lee Daniels. By the late 2000s, Paula's star was rising fast. But behind the glow was a shadow the public loved to whisper about: her marriage to R&B singer Robin Thicke from 2005 to 2015. Robin wasn't just a chart-topping musician. He was Hollywood royalty. His father, legendary actor Alan Thicke. His mother, actress and singer Gloria Loring. Robin had connections that stretched deep into the music and film worlds, and the rumors were relentless. Insiders claimed Paula's climb wasn't pure talent, but privilege. That Robin opened doors. That Lee Daniels pulled strings. That her marriage gave her shortcuts other actresses could only dream of. And it got darker. Whisper networks insisted Paula landed roles like the one in Precious, not through skill, but through personal relationships with producers and directors. The gossip painted her as lucky, not worthy, as if her success had been handed to her on a silver platter. But here's what the rumors refused to see. Paula Patton was magnetic, talented, and working harder than anyone realized. She started in tiny roles, grinding her way up, proving herself every step. Yes, her marriage may have opened a few doors, but walking through them, standing her ground, and delivering performances that could hold their own next to giants, that was all Paula. In Precious, she stood firm in a cast filled with thunderous performances from Monique and Gabourey Sidibe. In Deja Vu, she didn't just appear next to Denzel Washington. She matched his intensity, scene for scene. Then came the collapse of her fairy tale marriage. Robin Thicke's infidelity exploded into public view. His desperation to win her back turned into an entire album titled Paula, but the damage was already done. The divorce exposed what people didn't want to believe. Behind the glamour was a fractured relationship, a story far more painful and complicated than headlines ever revealed. Paula's rise wasn't an accident. It wasn't luck. It was grit, talent, and the courage to keep shining even when the world tried to dim her light. Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith was already a force before she ever became Mrs. Smith. From a different world to menace to society, from Set It Off to The Nutty Professor, she carved her own lane with raw talent and relentless hustle. But she wasn't a global box office titan, at least not on Will Smith's level. When she married him in 1997, Hollywood pounced. Almost overnight, tabloids whispered that Jada's rise wasn't hers, that it was Will's invisible hand lifting her career. Rumors spread like wildfire. Did Will make a call? Did he negotiate her contracts? Was every major role she booked stamped with his approval? And every time Jada landed a blockbuster, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions, Madagascar, Girls Trip, and later the cultural earthquake known as Red Table Talk. The same question returned like a haunting drumbeat. Was it really her? Or was it Will? What made it worse was how these rumors erased the truth. Jada is an actress, a producer, a musician, a host, a creator who built her own empire long before the world tried to fit her into Will Smith's shadow. She's proven herself again and again, with or without a powerful husband in the next room. But Hollywood, and let's be honest, society, has a habit of shrinking married women down to the men they stand beside. To many, she's Will Smith's wife first and Jada Pinkett Smith second. The irony? Jada and will have exposed more about their marriage than most celebrity couples ever would. The highs, the fractures, the unconventional, and the painfully honest. On Red Table Talk, she's laid bare her fight to be seen as her own person, the struggle of loving a megastar, and the challenge of holding on to her identity while the world insists she doesn't have one without him. Jada didn't just marry into greatness. She fought for her own, and that's the part people always seem to forget. Vivica A. Fox. Vivica A. Fox didn't just play Verita Green, Copperhead, in Kill Bill. Volume 1, she ignited one of the most unforgettable showdowns in Tarantino history. Her kitchen fight with Uma Thurman wasn't just a battle scene. It was a storm of rage, elegance, and raw emotion, choreographed like a beautiful, bloody ballet. It was a small role on paper, but on screen, it was explosive, and it marked a milestone. Vivica Fox had officially entered the Tarantino universe. But Hollywood never lets a moment like that pass without whispers. The industry immediately started buzzing. Why Vivica? Why her? She was already known for powerhouse performances in Independence Day, Set It Off, and Soul Food, but she wasn't the typical martial arts action pick. So the rumor mill fired up instantly. Some claimed Tarantino had a special interest in Vivica, an attraction that supposedly swayed his casting. There were hushed conversations suggesting their on-set connection was a little too warm, that the director's fascination went beyond the script, even hinting at a secret romantic spark behind closed doors. But here's what people often forget about Quentin Tarantino. The man is a master of unexpected casting. He resurrected John Travolta in Pulp Fiction when Hollywood had written him off. He crowned Pam Grier in Jackie Brown, honoring her black exploitation legacy. That's Tarantino's signature. He sees possibilities in actors others overlook. Vivica brought exactly what Kill Bill needed. She delivered star power. She delivered intensity. She delivered the fierce duality of a retired assassin posing as a suburban mom. Copperhead had to be terrifying and tender, deadly and maternal. That takes more than looks. That takes serious skill. Did Tarantino find Vivica attractive? Almost certainly. Did it play a part? Maybe. But reducing her role to just that cheapens the art and the truth. Vivica A. Fox earned that moment. She embodied it. She made it iconic. And that's why her scene still hits like a blade to this day. Thandie Newton. Thandie Newton is celebrated today for her brilliance in Crash, The Pursuit of Happiness, Westworld, and countless other films. But behind that glow lies a chapter of her life that Hollywood once chose to ignore, or worse, distort. When Thandie was just 16 years old, barely stepping into adulthood, she became involved with director John Dugan, a man decades older and in full control of her early career. They met while working on a 1989 film Flirting, and what followed was not a love story, despite how the tabloids try to paint it, but a years-long imbalance of power disguised as a relationship. In recent interviews, Thandie has bravely peeled back the curtain, revealing the truth she once didn't have the words or the permission to express. She describes that period not as a romance, but as an inappropriate, predatory entanglement where a teenage girl was groomed by a man who controlled her opportunities, her ambitions, and her sense of self. What makes the story even more disturbing is how the media twisted it at the time. Instead of protecting a minor, the tabloids framed her as a clever young starlet, sleeping her way into Hollywood, as if a frightened teenage girl was masterminding a career strategy. That narrative wasn't just cruel, it completely erased the exploitation she endured. This wasn't a career move. This wasn't consent. This was power weaponized. As the hashtag #MeToo movement reshaped Hollywood and encouraged survivors to reclaim their truth, Thandie finally spoke openly about the trauma she carried for years, the confusion, the emotional damage, the enduring scars left on her mental health. She made it clear the industry failed her. It protected the adult and blamed the child. But Thandie Newton didn't let that dark chapter define her. She rose anyway. Her career, decorated with Emmys, BAFTAs, and acclaimed performances, stands as proof that her success came from her raw talent, strength, and brilliance, not from the man who once tried to shape her future. Her story is not just about survival. It's about reclaiming power that was taken before she even knew she had it. Monique. Monique's Oscar win should have changed everything. In 2010, she stormed onto the world stage with her haunting, soul-shaking performance as Mary in Precious, directed by Lee Daniels. Critics were stunned. Hollywood bowed. She had the gold statue, the acclaim, and a future that should have exploded into superstardom. Instead, her career flatlined. For more than a decade, Monique has lived in the shadow of one of Hollywood's coldest, most unforgiving exiles. The reason? A bitter, tangled, and very public war with Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry. A feud so explosive it still echoes across the industry. But before the fallout, there were whispers, dark, hushed rumors about the bond between Monique and Lee Daniels during the making of Precious. Insiders claimed their connection was too intense, too intimate, too personal to be just work. Some even suggested that Lee's devotion to her performance and the lengths he went to secure her Oscar came from feelings far deeper than professional admiration. Others went further, hinting that their relationship carried romantic or even sexual undertones that fueled the creative fire between them. Nothing was ever confirmed, but the whispers never truly died. Here's what we do know. After her Oscar win, Monique refused to travel internationally to promote Precious without being paid. She'd fulfilled her contract. She wanted fair compensation. Hollywood responded with a familiar, deadly label, difficult. And in Hollywood, difficult means one thing: don't hire her. And Monique later said that Lee Daniels, Oprah, and Tyler Perry helped paint her as trouble. And just like that, the phone stopped ringing. Roles disappeared. A career that should have soared was quietly buried. The breakup between Monique and Lee Daniels was not just professional. It was personal, raw, and heartbreakingly public. She accused him of betrayal. He accused her of burning bridges. Their once powerful partnership collapsed under the weight of accusations, hurt, and Hollywood politics. Then, in 2022, something unexpected happened. On stage at a comedy show, the two embraced, crying, apologizing, forgiving. Monique apologized for her anger. Lee apologized for abandoning her. It was emotional, but it also revealed just how deep their bond once was. Monique has never confirmed anything romantic, but she has admitted that the betrayal cut deeper than business. That Lee felt like family, and losing him felt like losing a piece of herself. And maybe that's why the rumors never died. Not because they were true, but because the connection between them clearly was. Hollywood gossip always twists the truth, but it rarely comes from nowhere. Maybe the whispers were exaggerations, or maybe they were echoes of a bond too complicated for outsiders to understand. So what do you think? Pure Hollywood chatter? Or was there more truth hidden in the shadows? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love deep dives into the stories Hollywood tries to bury, hit like, share with a friend, and make sure you subscribe. More untold Hollywood secrets are on the way.